Okay, so today we're going to talk about percents, decimals, and fractions. And what we have here is we have a block of 100 smaller blocks. So let's just write this here of 100 smaller blocks. Now we have to look to see how many blocks are colored in. So I have 10, 20, 30, 40, plus 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 colored blocks for a total of 45 shaded out of 100 total. That is my fraction. To change my fraction to a decimal, all I do is take my handy dandy calculator, type in 45 divided by 100. And you get a decimal, which is 0.45. Okay? There's my decimal, 0.45. Now, I need to change my decimal to a percent. So what I have to do is I take my decimal point and I move it 2 places to the right. What is that little saying that we have?
The Heine trick.
The Heine trick. It's a Heine trick because everybody's Heine has 2 cheeks, and here I have 2 cheeks. So 45%. So 45% of this block is shaded in. Okay? Now let's look at the next one. Here again, I have 100 total blocks, and I have 10 total blocks plus 1 shaded in for a total of 11 shaded out of 100 total. Again, calculator, 11 divided by 100 equals 0.11. Here's my Heine trick. Take this decimal point 2 places to the right, add my my percent, and I have 11%.
Remember when you do this that everybody's Heine has to have 2 cheeks. And so if you fill in your decimal and you only have 1 number, you still have to move your decimal 2 places to the right. You have to fill in your empty cheeks with a 0 so that you still have the same value.
Okay, now stop the video and try C and D on your own, and then check your answers with us. Oh, they just pause it.
Yeah,
Keep
they
going.
pause
Okay, so we have,
quickly because it's already 3
yeah,
minutes.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So it's 10, 100, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
Yep,
Okay.
that's right. Although generally we
You don't
don't
need
say
to sit
0,
too.
2%. You
Yeah.
can just write 2%. You can just write equals 2%. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, on the back of your worksheet. Again, this is just basic. You're using a calculator. You're allowed to use a calculator for this entire unit, so we're going to focus on using a calculator. If you don't have a graphing calculator at home, have no fear. If you have a phone or an iPod or a computer, you can use any of those devices to use just the plain old calculator. You don't need the graphing TI-83 in order to be able to do this. So, like Miss Boston did, we have a fraction, and our fraction is 3/5. So on my calculator, I'm just going to type in 3 divided by 5. It tells me my answer is 0.6. So here, all we're going to be doing is looking at moving our fractions to decimals. So next fraction, we have 14 divided by 18. And I get Now the calculator tells me 0.7777 and continues on to be an 8 at the end. The only reason why it's an 8 at the end is because the calculator rounds that answer automatically. But remember, never mind. Go ahead and try the 11/12 on your own. Pause the video and try the 11/12 on your own.
Or you're going to change it.
All right. 11/12. You should have had 0.91666. And you can, if you want to, again, remember we did bar notation before showing that we have a repeating number. So you could have written here 0.7 with the line over top. And this would be 0.916 with the line over top the 6. Okay? Next, we're going to talk about how to get from a decimal to a percent. Now notice the decimal matches the problem above. So just like Miss Boston talked about, we're going to get a decimal into a percent, we're just going to do the Heine trick. And the Heine trick says that everybody's Heine has 2 cheeks. So I have to draw my 2 cheeks. Now notice inside of my cheeks is just one number. 1 digit goes inside each cheek. I have an empty cheek right here. So this becomes 60%. Decimal, I'm going to move my decimal 2 places. And this would become 77.7%. We can round this to the nearest whole number, which is 78%. Go ahead and try to do number 3 on your own. And then you can check your answer with us. Go ahead and pause the video. Move the decimal 2 spots to the right. We've got 91.666%. And again, we're just going to round our answer to the nearest whole. So that would be 92%.
Okay, now we're going to take our percent and we're going to change our percent to a fraction. I forgot how to do this.
What does percent mean?
Out of 100.
Out of 100. Per 100 cents.
So,
there's 100 cents in a dollar.
Then we take 60 over 100 and we can simplify.
Yep.
6/10, which actually simplifies to 3/5, which takes us back to my top one. 78 is what? 78 out of 100. If I simplify that, I get 14 out of 18.
No, you don't. we changed that one, remember?
Oh, 78
77
divided by 100.
Show the calculator. That's going to get you a decimal, Miss Boston. Math enter,
39.50.
Math enter. Yeah.
Shh, never mind. 39 over 50, because we rounded up. Oh boy. Okay, so now we have 90 over...
Well, hold on a minute. Let's talk about how we can create another equivalent fraction from this. So if you have 39/50ths, and we know that in order to get 39/50ths, we just divided 78 and 100 by 2. Another way that we could create, another equivalent fraction, which we've already done before, would be to multiply by
3.
Let's say 10. Add a 0 on the end of each.
So you'd get 390 over 500. I know. I don't know why you did that. Okay. So 90 over 100 simplifies to 9/10.
And then again, you can make an equivalent fraction by doubling it or adding on 2 zeros on top and on bottom. Okay, last thing that we're going to have you do is... you want to do one together?
We'll do one together.
Okay.
Okay, so now they gave us the ratio, and what we have to do is we have to complete the chart using the ratio. So it says 4 girls to 6 boys. My fraction looks like this: 4 to 6, 4 boys.
No, girls.
Oh, shucks. Oh, my goodness. We need to redo this. for girls over 6 boys. My decimal, handy dandy calculator, 4 divided by 6, 0.666, repeating. Change that to a percent. 1, 2. I would get 66.6%, but I like to round, so it's about equal to 67% because we're going to round.
Go ahead and do the 3 remaining on your own, and we will check these at the beginning of class tomorrow.